Can speed be 0? Can velocity be 0 even if speed is non-zero? Can velocity be negative? If these kind of tricky questions are confusing you, then this video is for you. In today's video, we will learn 5 tricky questions with simple concepts. So let's start. Before starting the first question, at first let us once see the definition of speed and velocity. Speed is the distance travelled per unit time, or we can say that speed equals to distance divided by time, because it is the distance travelled per unit time, and velocity is the displacement covered per unit time. That is, we can write velocity as displacement divided by time, because it is displacement per unit time. So let's see the first question. It is said that can speed and velocity ever be equal? You can pause here and think about it and let me know in the comments about your answer. Now see, can speed and velocity ever be equal? See, speed and velocity can be equal only if distance and displacement are equal. Let's take an example. Suppose you have started from point A. You travelled along a straight line and reach point B. You have travelled this straight line and this is about 100 meter long. As you have travelled along this straight line, so your distance is 100 meter. Also, A is the initial position from where you started and B is the final position where you ended. So, the displacement is the shortest path between the initial point A and the final point B. And the shortest path is always a straight line. So, this is the straight line, hence this is the shortest path. So, displacement is also 100 meter. In this case, distance and displacement are same. Suppose t time has been taken to cover this distance. Here distance and displacement are same. So speed equals to distance by time is equals to 100 by t. Also velocity is equals to displacement by time is equals to 100 by t. Here, since distance and displacement are same, so speed and velocity is also same. So the answer for this question is yes, speed and velocity can be equal if a body moves along a straight line from initial position to final position without changing direction. Because if direction changes, then displacement changes, then velocity will change. So, speed and velocity will be equal only if distance and displacement are equal. And this is possible only when the body moves along a straight line without changing the direction. The next question is, can speed be 0? For this, we have to find that displacement is 0 or not, because speed equals to distance by time. Suppose you are sitting on a chair in one room and you are sitting there, that is, you are not moving, you are at rest. So what will be the distance covered by you? The distance will be 0. So if distance is 0, then speed will be 0. But now you are moving, that is, you are moving from that room to another room. So you have covered distance. So now distance is non-zero. If distance is non-zero, then speed will be non-zero. So, speed will be 0 only when distance is 0, and distance will be 0 only when a body is at rest. So, the answer for this question will be yes, speed can be 0, but only if the body is at rest. Because when a body is at rest, distance covered by it will be 0 and hence speed will be 0. You can take another example, that a book is lying on a table. Now as the book is at rest, it is not moving. So the distance covered by the book is 0, and since the distance is 0, the speed will also be 0. Let's move to the third question. It is asked that can velocity be 0 even when speed is non-zero? At first, let us understand it by an example. Suppose you are starting from your home. You have traveled 20 meters and reach a park. You spend some time in the park and then return to your home. That is again travel 20 meter. So let the whole thing, that is you move 20 meter from home to park, then again return from park to home. Total time taken be t. If this is the scenario, then what will be the distance? Distance is the total path covered actually. So during moving from home to park, you have covered 20 meter. Again, from park to home, you have traveled 20 meter. So total you have traveled 40 meter. Hence your distance is 40 meter. So your speed will be distance divided by time, that is 40 by t. Now what will be the displacement? Since you are starting from your home, that is this is your initial position. You reach park and then again come back to your home. That is your final position is also your home. Here your initial and final position is same. So there is no shortest path between your initial position and final position. So there is no displacement in between your initial position and final position. So the displacement will be 0 meter. Why it is 0? Because your initial and final position is same. So there is no shortest path between the initial and final position, and hence the displacement is 0. But the time taken is same, t. So your velocity will be displacement by time. Displacement is 0 and time is t. So velocity will be 0. So for this question, can velocity be 0? Yes. Velocity can be 0 even if speed is non-zero, because speed depends upon distance and velocity depends upon displacement. If initial and final position is same, then displacement will be 0 but distance will not be 0. Hence velocity can be 0 in spite of non-zero speed. So yes, it is possible. The next question is, can speed remain constant but velocity keep changing? The answer will be yes, but how? Speed, we know that speed is the distance per unit time. That is, speed says that how fast an object is moving. Speed only denotes how fast an object is moving. But velocity is the displacement per unit time. Velocity says that how fast an object is moving plus in which direction it is moving. In which direction it is moving. So speed is about how fast an object is moving, but velocity is about how fast an object is moving, also in which direction it is moving. So speed will change only if the the magnitude, that is a numerical value, changes. Speed changes only when the numerical value or the magnitude changes. But velocity changes if the numerical value changes or the direction changes or both changes. Velocity can change when, because velocity is about how fast, that is the numerical value, along with in which direction. So when how fast, that is if the numerical value change, then velocity will change. If the direction change, then velocity will change. If both numerical value and direction changes, then velocity will change. But speed will change only when the numerical value is changing. So velocity is about how fast, that is speed plus direction. So if speed is constant, let us suppose speed is constant, Then in case of velocity, speed is constant but direction may change. So velocity may change. Let us take an example. Suppose a car is moving in a circular path with a speed of 40 km per hour. A car is moving with a speed of 40 km per hour along a circular path. This speed remains constant throughout the circular path. So in this case, speed is constant. But velocity, what about the velocity? Velocity is about how fast plus in which direction. That is speed plus direction. Both speed in a particular direction is velocity. Here speed is constant, that is numerical value. In case of velocity, there is two things. One is numerical value and another one is direction. Numerical value means the speed. Here in this case, the speed throughout the path is constant. So for velocity, the numerical value, that is the speed is constant, but the direction, in each and every point, see at this point the direction is in this direction, at this point the direction is along this direction, along this point the direction is along this arrow. So in every point the direction is changing, and since direction is changing, velocity is changing, though speed is constant. So speed, for this question the answer will be yes, speed remain constant but velocity keeps changing. How? Because speed depends only on the numerical value, but velocity depends on both numerical value and direction. So if numerical value is constant, so speed is constant, but direction may change, so velocity is changing. The final question is, can velocity be negative? Before revealing the answer, at first let us take that this is the origin from where one person is start moving. Let us take that if he moves in this direction, then this will be positive, that is positive towards east. Then this direction will be, that is in direction of west, will be taken as negative. If this is the origin point, then if the person moves towards this direction, this is positive and this direction is negative. We can take this as positive and this as negative, that is our choice. Suppose I have taken this as a positive and this as negative. If I say that a person moves 20 meter east, 20 meter east, so I can write it as 20 meter. But if I say that the person moves 20 meter west, 20 meter west, west means negative, so I have to write minus 20 meter. This is the displacement because we are mentioning about the direction. Displacement has direction, distance has no direction. In case of distance, we only give the numerical value. We only mention about the numerical value. Suppose the person is moving 20 meter. We don't care about in which direction he is moving. But in case of displacement, we are care about it, that we have to mention that in which direction the body is moving in case of displacement. So as we are mentioning here west, east, that is we are mentioning the direction. So this is the displacement. 20 meter west, that is minus 20 meter, or 20 meter east, that is plus 20 meter. These are the displacement. So this, in this case, this minus sign represents the direction, and in this case the plus sign represents the direction. So these are the displacement. Velocity is equals to displacement by time. Now here displacement is minus 20. Now time can never be negative, time is always positive. So this value will give a negative answer, that is velocity can be negative. So velocity is negative, that does not indicate that it is moving with negative speed. No, velocity negative means the direction which we taken is negative. in this direction if the body move, the direction is positive. This direction is negative. So as the bodies move along this direction, so the displacement is negative. Since displacement is negative and velocity depends upon displacement, so velocity is also negative. But can speed be negative? No, speed can never be negative because speed depends upon distance and distance have magnitude, that is only numerical value. If the person move along this direction or along this direction, we don't care about it. We just care about its magnitude, that is the numerical value, how much it moves, 20 meter or 20 meter. We are not bothered about it is moving along the west or moving along the east. So distance is always positive. As distance is positive, speed is equals to distance by time. As distance is positive, so speed is also positive. But velocity can be negative since displacement can't be negative. So for these questions, the answer will be yes. Velocity can be negative because it depends upon displacement and displacement has direction. So displacement can be negative and hence velocity can also be negative. I hope these 5 tricky questions have helped you to understand the concept of speed and velocity. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video. Until then, keep learning and stay curious. Thank you.